spoke to a sad colorblind man and told him the grass always seems redder on the other side. I had a cortisone injection about a week back. Yesterday. I think of myself as organized, but I often lose sleep. If you're thinking of buying Bitcoin, then money is no object to you. I think a whole generation of flat earthers read Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends looking for answers. I need to curb my enthusiasm for that book. I argued with a flat earther using circular logic. I met a narcissist who gave away too much info. He was dating himself. Don't rush, let them catch up. They say that behind every successful man is a woman. I say behind every paranoid man is no one. I went to a housewarming party in an igloo. It didn't last long. I needed a loan to open a laundromat, but I was hung out to dry. I went to a laundromat where the owner was 3 sheets to the wind. I recently told a loud laundromat owner to put a sock in it. This laundromat owner was talking poorly about his family. Well, I guess if anybody has the right to air his dirty laundry. Maybe he was just letting off a little steam. They're quieter than I expected. In general, I like every comforter I've ever felt. How's that for a blanket statement? Perhaps, if I had a comforter gathering, I could charge a cover. I should have quilt while I was ahead. When fish go to school and take a test, is it scaled? There are 2 things I'm really good at. 1, exaggerating my strengths. When I was reminded that women and minorities are still limited by the glass ceiling, my temper went through the roof. How often do you like Likert scales? Always? Sometimes? Or never? I once played the game of telephone with Prince Harry and Prince William, but it went in one ear and out the other. No matter how many people leave the Bay State, it is still considered a mass exodus. A man was stealing rolls of Scotch adhesive from the 3M company, but he was caught on tape. I have a friend who started a haberdashery. It was just the right fit for him. Later this week, I'm excited to buy a voodoo doll. I've been sitting on pins and needles. I got into an argument with a practitioner of voodoo, but I couldn't pin him down. I knew of a little adoption agency. It was a mom and pop operation. I got in a fight with my dentist, but I just brushed it off. At the same office, I met a man with dentures who was lying to me through his teeth. I saw a leader who had perfect teeth. He is a king without a crown. My barber thinks he is so organized, but I don't think his methods are so cut and dried. I knew of a relaxed beauty school where the hairstylist could really let her hair down. I saw a ginger today whose hair was turning salt and pepper. Sounds like a recipe for disaster. I knew an undertaker who was worked to the bone. I met an undertaker who was really down to earth. Unfortunately, he was buried in his work. I scratched off the void if removed on a scratch ticket, and then I went to the bathroom. I read an article about constipation in adulthood, but I think the author was full of it. In his later life, did Van Gogh ever smile from ear to ear? Today I saw a centipede with restless leg syndrome. I went to buy the Plan B pill, but forgot my wallet. Looks like it's Plan C. I saw a wheelchair repair shop where walk-ins were welcome. Okay, that joke's retired after tonight. Had it out with an archaeologist. I really had a bone to pick with him. I hope my face isn't doing that weird thing again. It's got to be tough to know when for sale signs are on sale. One might just think there's just another in the front of the pack. If this bombs, I'll just call it performance art. Alright, let's let our next comedian do what he does best. Ladies and gentlemen, fill seats. Okay, you made it. Phew. I think the show The Big Bang Theory should have each successive episode expand in length. This joke is older than time. I bought a whole season of Big Bang Theory at once and got the most bang for my buck. Bazinga! I'm looking forward to buying the series Cosmos on DVD. I want to get the big bang for my buck. I'm glad they used a lot of stars to do the voiceovers. When I get home, I gotta find my remote. It's gotta be in the sofa. I bought pizza for the owner of the Breaking Bad residence. I told him it was on the house. I dressed up as Walter today. I forgot you're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day. I found it odd that Succession never told me what to watch next. 8 is Enough only ran for 5 seasons. Apparently 5 is enough. I remember that one of the characters on Lost was a total smoke show. I also remember when they shot the pilot of Lost. I think that's why the plane went down. I asked the librarian for a recommendation of a DVD series that would keep me riveted, but ultimately let me down. She told me to get lost. Who doesn't like a 2004 reference? I bought the 1997 movie Loved and the hit show that took place on an island. It is better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. I wonder if Netflix is asking, are you still watching? About me. I'm guessing once Charlie Brown gets off the wrong medications Lucy prescribed, all his hair will grow back. Someone in the front row definitely still pays for cable. I saw West Side Story again the other day. If one more person asks me if I prefer the Jets or the Sharks, I'm going to snap. It would be interesting to see the New Jersey Jets versus the San Jose Sharks. Things they don't tell you. Netflix and chill works best with the streaming service and not with the DVD version. When I had someone over once, we selected the DVD together from the website, and then we awkwardly waited the 3 days for the Knight Rider Season 1, Disc 1 to arrive. I bought the Knight Rider series. I wanted the whole kit and caboodle. I wonder how often Michael Knight was contacted about his car's extended warranty. I applaud Ralph Cramden for wanting to put the first woman on the moon. Too bad laugh tracks don't work in real life. After the show Empty Nest went away, I didn't know what to do. I saw a documentary on massages. It was the feel-good movie of the year. And yes, it had a happy ending. I saw the movie Black Mirror Bandersnatch. First choose-your-own-adventure movie I'd ever seen. I liked it, but my friend did not. I asked him, did we even see the same movie? This crowd has pilot episode energy. I heard that people who worked on the 90s TV hit got health and dental insurance. It was Friends with benefits. I bought a behind-the-scenes DVD of the popular sitcom. Then I wrote a letter to the editor of a popular magazine. I shall dub this day, How to Make Friends and Influence People. I had a copy of a zombie show that I lent my friend. But I don't think I'm getting it back. It was a dead giveaway. I think all the zombie spin-offs are just a bunch of biters. That laugh deserves an Emmy. Would a Bachelor Mormon edition be a good show? Certainly more roses given out in a single episode. They brought back Party of Five, Murphy Brown, and Full House. I'm over here waiting for the Cosby Show. I want to change the name of the Oxygen channel to Carbon Monoxide because it sucks the life out of me. Any demands that Winona makes on set would be written into a rider. I'm sure she asked for stranger things than most. On Jeopardy! I saw a category called Baked Goods. Talk about know your role. Half my personality is TV references. I like to watch the Dukes of Hazzard now and pretend that Boss Hogg and Roscoe P. Coltrane are trying to catch the General Lee because they don't approve of it having the Confederate flag on it. Hashtag better plot. Hashtag sometimes the bad guys win. Of course, J.D. Hogg stands for Jefferson Davis Hogg, so this imagined rewrite has some plot flaws. I don't really blame the Duke boys. They bought the car online and neither the pictures nor Carfax mentioned what was on the roof. I was going to watch a video on diving, but I heard it was a flop. I watched earlier episodes of This Old House, and surprisingly, it holds up. I saw a couple on a date trying to decide what movie to rent from a Redbox. I said, "Get the room, you two." I remember when Blanche took a bath. It was the first time I'd seen a golden shower on TV. I was going to see the new documentary on sinkholes, but my plans fell through. I just watched the uncut version of the John Wayne Bobbitt story, and it wasn't that interesting. Watching Judge Judy is my guilty pleasure. According to TMZ, the guy who played Jambi on Pee-wee's Playhouse has some anger issues. He should have quit while he was ahead. I started to watch 60 Minutes on my Apple Watch. I watch so much afternoon TV that I call my TV my soapbox. I decided to watch Ghost Hunters because I needed to do some soul searching. I asked a writer of The Walking Dead if he likes his job. He said, "It's a living." Did you ever have one of those days where you just need to come home and watch Walking Dead just to relax and regain a sense of normalcy? After seeing so many post-apocalyptic settings in entertainment lately, I wonder why the inside of my house looks worse. Sometimes I turn off the TV, look around, and panic. I hate playing cards with Hugh Laurie. The house always wins. Hugh was having some work done on his own house, so he wasn't playing with a full deck. The audience is split between Team Cable and Team Password sharing. I saw a South Park episode with Mr. Hanky recently. I'm getting too old for this shit. I use Windex to clean off a DVD of Mr. Hanky episodes. I just polished a turd. I just watched an episode where Wilbur asked Mr. Ed where the police officer was. He had to see a horse about a man. Is it true that when they were done using Mr. Ed, he was hung like a horse? Of course, of course. Max Headroom was ahead of his time. You can watch the complete series of Max Headroom on Netflix. I just wanted to give you the heads up. On my days off, I watch tons of episodes of Weeds. Who said pot isn't addictive? I held a contest to determine the best pot puns. I tried to weed out the best ones. I went to see the famous Bill Buckner play on YouTube, but had to watch an ad first. There's always a catch. I'm about to watch TV with Abbott and Costello. Doctor Who is on first. I'm not sure what is on second. I'm working on a spin-off show called Nurse Who. It's about a Time Lord who does most of the work and gets none of the credit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a commercial break and hand it back over to your MC. See you in a few minutes. Phil Seitz is on a union break, but he'll be back out here shortly to give us his take on movies. Here's some of my thoughts. Even though people said it was good, I still think Oppenheimer bombed. I'm watching Memento for the third time. Don't tell me how it ends. I showed my kids Airplane, and it was over their heads. I watched Last Tango in Paris alone. I guess it doesn't take two. I watched The Life of Pi. It seemed to drag on forever. Maybe E.T. got sick because it ate Reese's Pieces. Hashtag alien farts. I think that the actor who played E.T. really phoned it in. That laugh deserves an Oscar. My wife tried to buy me the 2012 movie Amour, but I reminded her, you can't buy me love. My wife really wanted to see a Keanu Reeves movie, so I had to play the devil's advocate. An actor should only be allowed to break the fourth wall if it is a 3D movie. In case you're curious, Disney's Blank Check cost $13 million to make. Who doesn't like a 1994 mention of a movie they never saw? For the next Peanuts movie, I hope Charlie Brown gets a drone caught in a tree instead of a kite. I still think for all the amazing things he put out there, Charles Schultz made Peanuts. I'm one montage away from becoming a better comedian. I still have a copy of Jurassic Park on VHS. I'm a dinosaur. Dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were able to kill people because of a mosquito. Not sure why Mosquito Squad doesn't mention that in their advertising. I watched the Back to the Future trilogy, Hot Tub Time Machine movies, and Project Almanac. No pun here. Just wanted to brag. Do you know the film Back to the Future? Or was it before your time? I just watched Back to the Future 3 again. That movie really takes me back. I may have to go back and watch Back to the Future 1 and 2 again now. Or am I getting ahead of myself? Would it be acceptable for a time travel movie to have the sequel come out first? Then, when the first one comes out, I could say, it's about time. The movie Dude, Where's My Car would have been a lot shorter if the protagonist used an app to track where they parked. I can't believe Follow That Bird was only rated G. It was a snuff film. I think everyone is a fan of Encanto. Not even Sacha Baron Cohen talks about Bruno. The main lesson I took away from The Fugitive is to not hire a one-armed assassin. I was dating a cinematographer, but it didn't pan out. I kind of want to see a prequel to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where we see what he did during one of his other 8 absences. It would be amazing if Sloane had 8 other relatives die that year. Every disaster movie starts with one scientist nobody believes in. This show has one comedian nobody believes in. I don't mean to brag, but I watched 5 Nights at Freddy's in 4 nights. I asked a friend if I could borrow a Patrick Swayze movie, and he ghosted me. Our headliner loves movies and therefore is no stranger to a silent audience. Make him feel right at home. Welcome back. Fill seats. A movie titled One Battle After Another should have a sequel. Am I the only one wondering if Arnold Schwarzenegger was wearing underwear in Commando? For some reason, the actors in the Gentleman's Agreement all got contracts. There are only 2 cheaper by the dozen movies. I'll wait until there are 12 before I buy them. I saw a picture of the guy who played the $6 million man, and he looks like $1 million. I tried to watch Dumb and Dumber on my smart TV, and it wouldn't let me. That joke is based on actual events. Don't let the second Black Panther movie title fool you. Wakanda Forever is really only 2 hours and 41 minutes. Pro tip, if you fall asleep watching Inception, it's a way longer movie. I never got around to watching Slackers. I almost missed an opportunity to watch a virtual reality version of The Matrix, and I feel like I dodged a bullet. I started watching Ghostbusters on Google Play and finished it on YouTube. I shouldn't have crossed the streams. That joke needed better special effects. When I die, I might try to have my last words be Citizen Kane. I should have cast a better audience. Here's a missed opportunity. Get out of my dreams, get into my car as the theme for A Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger movies are not very politically correct. Hashtag stay woke. Not getting a laugh for that is my worst nightmare. I saw The Human Centipede 1 and 2 back to back. I was so shocked my mouth was open the whole time. I could survive any movie. Till the opening credits. Honestly, I've only heard about the Centipede movies and never saw them. No desire to. You might say they were in poor taste. There was a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor, as it were. Awkward. Do you guys remember the movie War Games? Joshua is a terrible password. Professor Falcon would be living on the streets with his accounts wiped out and his browsing history on WikiLeaks. And you just know that dude was into some freaky stuff. I fell asleep during The Awakening. Last night I was watching The Martian with some down-to-earth people. I tried to watch The Doors and Fences on my Windows machine. I would like to know if anyone on the red carpet asked the actor who played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs who he was wearing. Every time I watch Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill always gets under my skin. A nice laugh track here would be a good idea. I paid for Silence of the Lambs from Redbox, but Wolf of Wall Street was in the sleeve. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen The Princess Bride. 6. I'm not sure I understood a profound 3D foreign film with subtitles. I may have been reading into it too much. Nobody ever sneezes during a dramatic speech. I ran into Mia Hamm and Kevin Bacon at the airport. You probably won't believe that until pigs fly. I saw the 1974 film Earthquake starring Charlton Heston. It was groundbreaking. There were a few cracks in the plot. I asked the director for an interview, and he really opened up to me. Before I watched the sequel to Jack Reacher, I wanted to see the original again. Unfortunately, the sequel is named Jack Reacher Never Go Back. I found that with Sean Connery, his word is his bond. I found my copy of The Lost Boys. Now I just call it The Boys. The show must go on. I once asked Dustin Hoffman how he prepared for his role in Marathon Man. It was like pulling teeth. Tootsie was the role of a lifetime. I made a bet with a friend that I could eat a DVD. I was forced to eat crow. I've only seen the movie Groundhog Day once, but with that movie, you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times. I have a friend who puts marks down on a film set. You always know where you stand with her. My life would be a little easier if Waldo's girlfriend hadn't watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 days. I wish OJ made Who Framed O.J. Simpson, complete with the Roger Rabbit cameo. I would have watched it. He's not a bad actor based on his performances in the Naked Gun movies. And in The Courtroom. That laugh deserves a sequel. I watched the movie Benjamin Button again. It never gets old. Benjamin Button would give the advice you have to learn to walk before you can crawl. I'm following the food recommendations of Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, Rob Lowe, Anthony McCarthy, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy. It's called the Brat Diet. This is like deja vu for me. An audience the other day didn't laugh either. I did not want to see 50 Shades of Grey, but my wife insisted. My hands were tied. I think the movie 50 Shades of Grey should be in black and white. I should have run these lines with somebody. I tried to buy Alias, but I couldn't find it as it's marketed under a different name. I'm going to try to garner the whole series. I started making copies of Keanu Reeves movies at night, and its sequels by the morning. I was burning the wick at both ends. I'll clean this up in post. I watched pirated versions of Hook, Captain Phillips, and Muppet Treasure Island. The non-pirated version of each is only about 5 minutes. I found a leaked version of the new Snowden movie online. Nobody knows these references. I think Marcel Marceau said it best. This crowd is more selective than the Academy. Went to see Me Before You. In a surprise twist, I let someone cut me in line. Memento was the first Guy Pearce film I'd seen. You never forget your first. I watched 50 First Dates, Memento, and Finding Dory. I don't remember which I liked best. I went to see Star Trek Beyond, and the usher walked me down the theater and out the back door. I saw a clown car today at the drive-in. Good way to save money. The movie was it. I hope the camera's getting my good side. I don't have a good side. I saw 13 hours, 127 hours, and 28 days, all in 6 hours. I wish time moved that quickly when I was in school. I hope this bit doesn't go straight to streaming. I watched Dracula Untold, and it was just the opening credits followed by the closing credits. I felt like the actresses were batting their eyes at me the whole time. Geez, these people are bad actors. They can't even pretend they're enjoying themselves. I couldn't decide if I should watch The Adventures of Ford Fairlane or Blue Jasmine. It was a roll of the dice. I got an Uber to take me to the library to borrow Driven. I watched Midnight Special, Midnight Cowboy, Midnight Run, and Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Write your own punchline. It's only appropriate that I see this one halfway there. My world changed when I realized that Michael J. Fox played a wolf. I'm not saying Terry Kaiser wasn't a good actor in Weekend at Bernie's, but I think his co-stars did all the heavy lifting. I wish I had a stunt double for bombing. I heard that David Spade's sister wants to go back to her maiden name. Sometimes you just need to call a spade a spade. Somebody here definitely stays through every credit. I watched Before Sunset from dusk till dawn, daybreak, dog day afternoon, and night shift. Somehow the day got away from me. I can't wait to see the new movie about trucks. It had an awesome trailer. I saw a bunch of Tom Hanks movie posters at a yard sale, but I wasn't seeing the big picture. I tried to buy The Godfather at the mall tonight. It was a mob scene. I went back to try again at night, but it was like beating a dead horse. Someone almost laughed. An over-the-shoulder shot here would be great. I watched 8 Mile and 3,000 Miles to Graceland, but not the Green Mile. I just couldn't go the extra mile. It was a movie marathon. I heard that the movie Fury tanked at the box office. I find it impossible that the movie Daylight got 3 stars, for a couple of reasons. I think that having deleted scenes in a movie called The Expendables should be a given. I watched The Interview, and now I have so many questions. I thought The Skeleton Twins was going to be about Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. The movie The Book of Eli should have subtitles, so at least people are doing a little reading. The movie Salt isn't good by itself, but it makes other movies that much better. I tried to watch Spanglish with subtitles on, and my TV flipped out. I would find it funny if in an interview Sandra Bullock ever threw Keanu Reeves under the bus. There is a portrait of Gary Busey in my apartment, but it is off the wall. I bought a DVD about the life of Salvador Dali, but it was warped. I checked my email in extra time today, just to have Tron face off in battle. I was surprised that the movie Limitless was only 105 minutes. I was not a huge fan of the movie Titanic, but hey, whatever floats your boat. For James Cameron, filming Titanic was just the tip of the iceberg. I was hoping that by the end of the movie Rise of the Planet of the Apes, they would all take our typewriters and test the theory about a work of Shakespeare once and for all. Jeff Goldblum is pretty white for a Fly guy. I believe it was when Jeff Goldblum filmed The Fly that he got the acting bug. I'm still not sure why the theater manager asked me to leave when the movie Final Destination ended. I can't stop watching Bruce Willis's movies. Old habits die hard. I was asked who my favorite Wizard of Oz character was. It was a no-brainer. I was given the opportunity to see the actor who played the Tin Man, but my heart wasn't in it. The movie Jack gets old fast. I saw The Darkest Hour. Spoiler alert, the theater keeps the lights off for both hours of the movie. I'm probably going to watch Rocky on Boxing Day. The movie 50-50 wasn't half bad. I saw Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close while sitting in the last row and wearing noise-canceling headphones. I hope to be a ghostwriter for the next Casper movie. I would hope that Casper the Friendly Ghost would end every argument with, "Do I make myself clear?" I just saw The Aviator again. Despite what you think of Howard Hughes, at least his heart was in the right place. I bought The Day After Tomorrow on Blu-ray and spent money like there was no tomorrow. If you stream Fame on Netflix, you should only be able to watch 15 minutes before your time is up. I'm going to watch Looper on DVD so that I can start it over as soon as it ends. That's a good one. I hope that Chicken Little doesn't see the Bond film Skyfall. I always watch Perks of Being a Wallflower while standing off to the side of the room. I thought that the movie 127 Hours was going to be longer. I way overpaid the babysitter. 127 Hours was one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Hand down. Yes, I know I'm a jerk. It was only appropriate that I bought Pay It Forward with a credit card. I watched Half-Baked while having a twice-baked potato. I decided to bite the bullet and watch Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon should at least have had a cameo with Bruce Leroy. Google should do something funny when you search for Clint Eastwood and click on, "I'm feeling lucky." I took part in an intense Hungry Hippos tournament, or as I call it, the Hunger Games. I wanted to see Now You See Me, but it left theaters. I watched The Breakfast Club, Breakfast of Champions, and Breakfast at Tiffany's, all before having my morning tea. I never seem to catch the beginning or middle of This Is the End. Am I the only one who thought How to Train Your Dragon was going to be about speech dictation software? I watched The Great Gatsby, Great Expectations, and The Great Muppet Caper. It was a pretty good evening. These people wish they could press a skip button through my whole act. I thought Olympus Has Fallen was going to be about a guy who dropped his camera. I purchased We Bought a Zoo, The Greatest Movie Ever Sold, and Dallas Buyers Club. I just hope I don't buy the farm before I can watch them all. I hope they make a Windows PC movie, and it's so bad that they need to make a reboot. Worst reboot that I've seen was probably when they redid The Beastmaster and called it Dr. Dolittle. Because of The Beastmaster, I wanted ferrets, and also to find Tanya Roberts topless in a lake. Well, the day's not over yet. I bought Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses. I watched Horton Hears a Who, Doctor Who, and listened to The Who. It was a who's who of popular culture. I'm giving you my best stuff here, people. Oh, that's the problem. Lost my copy of Fight Club, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I thought the movie was The Pits. I just saw a review of Fight Club on YouTube by Roger Ebert. Apparently he missed the first rule, where you don't talk about Fight Club. I lost my copy of Pain and Gain. It's true what they say. No pain, no gain. I saw The Sandlot, followed by Waterworld, and then Mud. It was a natural progression. I want to see a showing of Edge of Tomorrow that ends promptly at 11:59 p.m. I put on makeup for this? I tried to watch The Help on the Kindle and needed to use the Mayday button. I returned the day after tomorrow a day early so that I wouldn't be fined. I rented The Return, and in a surprising twist, I kept it. I combed my hair for this? I had to pause the movie named non-stop so that I could go to the bathroom. I'm still upset with the director of Unforgiven. I wonder if they'll ever make a reboot of the movie Das Boot. I was surprised that neither B-Movie nor The Green Hornet had a stinger at the end. I would guess that the producer of Noah was flooded with hate mail, probably 2 of every kind of expletive. I imagine Samuel L. Jackson watching it. Get these mother-f***ing snakes off this mother-f***ing ark. Not sure how Sylvester Stallone got away with making a movie called Cliffhanger that didn't have a sequel. My oldest child spilled nail polish all over my Blu-ray collection. She decided to paint the town red. Some polish landed on a Sean Penn DVD also, but as the saying goes, no use crying over spilled milk. The ending of this set tested well with imaginary audiences. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Time to make myself like James McAvoy and split. Good night. And scene. That laugh sounded muffled. That laugh sounded expensive. That laugh sounded angry. Please don't let my stomach growl into the microphone. Like my jokes, that cough had terrible timing. I know way too much about characters who don't exist. This crowd laughs like a studio audience. I quote sitcoms more than my own family. This silence feels like a commercial break. My attention span now has ads. I can recognize theme songs faster than relatives. If this joke flops, I'll blame the director. If this joke flops, I'll blame the director. This crowd has sequel energy. I'm not sure what that means. Sometimes parking at the theater is more suspenseful than the movie. This joke needs a better soundtrack. The trailer to the show gave away the funniest joke. If I knew how bad the ending of Knowing would be, I wouldn't have watched it. When actress Glenn trims her leg hair, isn't it always a close shave? When she gave up smoking, she said, "Close, but no cigar." Perhaps another name for 50 Shades of Grey could have been Lots of Love. I saw 2 movie projectionists fighting over some film. The struggle is real. I watched a Kathy Bates movie followed by a John Ritter show because misery loves company. Come and knock on our door, and legs with a sledgehammer. I was bothered that I had to go pick up the delivery man. That joke should go in the deleted scenes. What are you doing?